Hi there, today I've got a bit of a quick string writing tip about writing string parts for sample strings, which, God love them, they're wonderful sample strings, but sometimes they don't sound very realistic. And string shorts, I think to a certain extent, are a bit easier to get a realistic sort of sound from. Long strings, more difficult. High strings, I think probably the hardest. And I use a little trick, which I'm just about to show you here, to hopefully, theoretically at least, make my strings sound a little bit more realistic. Well, you tell me whether you think it does or not. I've been doing this for a very long time, and I'm going to be very upset if I now do this and test it and think, actually, maybe it's not that great after all. So anyway, I've just literally thrown down a tiny little tune with some piano to give it some context, which sounds like this. And what I've done, well, let me just show you without my little trick on it. So this is just Cinematic Studio Strings on its own. Let's just have a quick listen to this, which is, it's a nice string library. It sounds absolutely fine. Now, by my reckoning, if you have one string recording going around all the time, you've got sort of just one set of variables to play with. And if you're trying to mimic a string section of 20 players or something, they're all going to be doing things at slightly different times. And okay, in the recording, there's several different players all doing things at different times, but the change from note to note is going to be pretty much the same all the time. So by adding in some slight variation, we can make this sound a bit more realistic. So what I'm going to do is, just to talk you through so you know where we're going with this, I'm going to add in a solo violin, and I'm also going to add in some other violins from, this is Spitfire Studio Strings Violins 1, which is a really small, I think it's 4 or 6 players or something. What you can't do is layer this with, what you don't want to be doing is Spitfire Symphony Orchestra Violins 1 plus, I don't know, Abbey Road Violins 1 or something. It'll be too big. You need two or three chamber size ensembles layered on top of each other. This is it straight out of the box, which is pretty good actually for Cinematic Studio Strings, and with the normal mic mix level, this is what it sounds like. Let's just have a reminder of that. I'm going to record it also so I can compare the two. Okay, let's just bounce that down just for a minute. Set my left and set my right, just so we've got a reference of that. It doesn't matter where that goes really, does it? Let's just create new audio track. Okay. Okay, so there it is. That's our reference. I've put IG post because this is also going to be an Instagram post. So we've got a reference point there. Let's just put that actually at the top, out of the way, and switch it off for the moment. Okay. First thing I would do, more than probably, and it does vary on the context of what we're working on, is I would actually switch off the mix here, and I would go close and main and turn the main down just a little bit. Now this takes a little bit of time to sort itself out, and I would do the same for cinematics, the solo violin as well. So switch off the mix and go close and main, turn the main down a little bit. I've got this muted at the moment so you can't actually hear it. Just listen to the difference this makes. Now, to my ears, that's a little bit sweeter, and you can hear a bit more detail. I'm going to turn it up a little bit, just so we can hear what's going on. Let's listen to that again. I can hear more vibrato. I can hear more bits and pieces in that. Let's add in the solo violin. So I'm going to unmute that. Let's turn it down so we can't hear it and gradually just mix it in. and I can just hear it there. Now, I've said this before on here, I'm working on headphones at the moment, so I'm pretty much deaf in my left ear, and it's coming in my left ear, so my balance might not be totally perfect. I would need to do it on my big speakers, really, ideally. But we've got now a mixture of what sounds like a smaller ensemble, because we haven't got all this big room mix going on, plus the solo violin to give it some little bit of detail. It's a very subtle difference, but I think it's better. You just hear it there. Okay. So we've got two sort of variables going on at the same time, playing at the same time, I suppose. They're not sort of out of time with each other, but there's two different recordings going on, playing against each other, which gives a little bit more depth. To increase that further, I would add in another string library, and I'm going to go for Spitfire Studio Strings here. Okay, and I'm just literally going to play it in. Now, I could copy and paste it, but that sort of defeats the object. I want to play it in. It'll be slightly out of time, probably, but that's fine. Okay, try recording that. Okay, so that's that, complete with this wrong note. That should be a D. I think it should be that, shouldn't it? Let's have a listen. It's the F. What am I doing? Dearie me. I'm going to do some live composing in a minute on here. I'm going to be swearing and cursing. Okay, let's compare that for the moment with what we had initially then, which is this. Okay, and we've now got oh, it's a subtle difference, but there's just a bit more depth to it. There's a bit of more resonance. It's just sort of, you can hear the interplay of the three a little bit. Then, obviously, I've taken the room off this, which I don't particularly like the room on Cinematic Studio Strings anyway, and there's very little reverb on the Spitfire Studio Strings, so I would actually take all of those now and just pop them into a group channel and pop a reverb on all of them. So let's just do that. Let's find something on here. Let's go east-west spaces. And this would vary depending on what the context was, or what the track was, or what sound I sort of wanted. I'm just going to go for a very standard but quite nice reverb, which I quite like, which is that. I'm going to turn that down and probably get rid of a bit of the bottom as well. I'm going to turn it up so I can just hear it. Okay, so that's our finished. As opposed to the original, which was it sounds a bit 2D. Oh, it's a gorgeously touching piece of music. But you can hear the difference, thank goodness. The one with the three mixed, it doesn't sound any bigger because you've got small ensembles, and I've taken off a lot of the sort of room reverb and then put the reverb back together for all of it. You've got the sense of three. You could do it with more actually. I just do three because you could put another instrument in this or another small group in this. But adding 2 or 3 small ensembles together to make one larger ensemble within the context of a sample library or an orchestral mock-up does, thank goodness, work better than just doing the one. It gives you a sort of sense of space and a sense of 3-dimension and a sense of movement that I think you don't get just using the one library. Was going to add something and I can't remember what it was. I think you could do this with any library. It's just that I've got CSS. I do think it's a good idea to use something that's quite small, obviously, but also to use the solo violin in there as well. I don't think you need to use more than one solo violin, but one sort of first chair violin in there, along with the 2 little ensembles, works really well. Hope that was helpful. If you've tried this or you think it's a good idea or not a good idea, comment. It would be great to hear from you. Thank you. Bye-bye.